mentioned China.
Maybe a bit surprised that he picked up the phone and called Xi Jinping already on Saturday as president-elect.
Right. He invited some Europeans, surprisingly enough. But I think he will be willing to make deals, even with the Europeans. He is a deal maker. So let's think about what we can offer. For example, the liquid natural gas, LNG from Russia. Why not? If we have to take military equipment from the US, why don't we combine our purchases on the European level? So there is so much what we can do on the European side. I think he will be an interesting partner for us, provided we are on the European side knowing what we want in common.
I think Trump already said that to avoid future tariffs, Europe had to buy more LNG.
Sure.
And also increase the military expenditures. But you do have also a defense industry yourself in Germany.
We do, but we are not having enough. The European defense industry is not strong enough to provide our military with the equipment we need. So I had a meeting with the EPP party leaders, the European People's Party, which is my party family on the European level. We met on Friday and Saturday in Berlin. We had there one state president, 9 prime ministers, 5 deputy prime ministers, several opposition leaders from the entire European Union, and we agreed on 2 things. The one is a deep cut into the European currency, the European bureaucracy, not currency, sorry, a deep cut into.
Some would say that part of a currency too.
To preserve the strength of our currency. And the second was military procurement has to be more simple, standardized, and the question of scale. Mario Draghi made this in his report on the competitiveness of the European industry. Scale is one of the key answers to our strength. And we have to use our scale of the economies of scale, which is lagging behind what we can really do in this European.
Competition is very important in the market, but do you think we have gone too far, become more Catholic than the Pope when it comes to underlining competition law and not letting companies merge and build stronger units in Europe? Will you change that?
I have a personal view on that. In my view, the European competition law, especially the merger control directive, is too rigid. I give you 2 examples. The one was the already mentioned merger of German Stock Exchange and London Stock Exchange, which was not allowed by the DG4. The second was the famous example of Siemens and Alstom years ago, not allowed on merger control. So the relevant market for European companies is no longer just the European one. It's the global market. And we have to be competitive on the global market. And that's the reason why I'm in favor to change this regulation. It's not a question of execution. It's a question of the basic regulation. And the merger control, in my view, even as a lawyer, my view is it is too rigid. And the market is seen too narrow. The relevant market is no longer just the European one.
When you speak with Macron, this is on a separate note, you have a common challenge because he has competition on the right. And you also have competition on the right with AFD. Do you ever then discuss how to deal with that? What is the best recipe for conservative Christian democratic parties in Europe now to deal with the far right?
The simple answer on that is resolve the problems which are seen by the people. This is migration, this is anxiousness all day in terms of labor market, working places, criminality, and so on. And frankly, for us, for Germany, the situation is still easier than it is actually for France, because they have their presidential system, It's much more complicated to come to an agreement between the president and the parliament. The presidential system in France is giving some disadvantages to the president because it's so unbalanced between the president and the parliament. In my view, the German system is still better than the French system is, but we are faced with the same challenges coming from the right-wing populists. And my clear answer is resolve the problems in the center of the democratic parties of our system, and then they will become not stronger, but they will be weakened over time.
I guess you follow also the situation south of Germany and Austria, where the Conservative Party and the right-wing party might now go in coalition. Any thoughts on that?
Sure, it's a disaster. And the development to this point is quite simple. They tried to moderate and to bring them into the democratic center back by giving them parts of the government. And the right opposite happened. So this is my conclusion for Germany is the clear answer. We will not take these right-wing populists into a government which is led by me. Never. I will not do that. I will try to figure out where we can have our necessary coalitions, and then I will try to get my partners in this coalition convinced that we have immediately to resolve the problems which made them as strong as they are today. I remind you, they came into parliament in 2017 when the first migration crisis happened in Germany. This was their first step in parliament. 2021 again, 2025 most likely again, 2029 we have to try to get them out.
I know you're meeting with President Zelensky later tonight. President Zelensky spoke here today, and he came with, in my view, quite a historical reminder that they're fighting this war on behalf of all of Europe. When Putin started the attacks, he had 200 soldiers. Now he has mobilized 600. And even in such a situation, they're pretty much holding the line. Of course, they are also looking at what is happening now in DC and also, I guess, in Germany. And according to the press, the foreign minister ran out of a meeting, cabinet meeting the other day. That I think, you know, that doesn't happen frequently in cabinets. That's at least not my experience in my home country. What would be your what would be your policy on Ukraine, and is that an area will you make compromises?
Well, I very much regret that we still have to talk in the third year about this war. And my deep conviction is that if we had gave them better support before, stronger support before, this war could have been over. But now we are in a very critical phase. We don't know yet what the American government will do. And I will tell him the same when I will meet him tonight, as I did shortly before Christmas, that he can rely on us and that we are not fighting a Ukrainian war against Russia, but we are fighting for our freedom, for our societies, for the way of life we are having in this part of the European Union and in this part of Europe, and that we should try to do everything that Putin one day will give up, because he is seeing that he has no chance to win this war and to overtake Ukraine. But this is something which is, from today's perspective, extremely uncertain. And I very much regret that we are in this phase of this terrible war. This war has to come to an end, but this will not come to an end from a position of weakness. This will only come to an end from the position of strength, and for Putin, without any hope to win and to take Ukraine.
A big thank you to Friedrich Merz, vielen Dank, and
many thanks to you.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.